Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
Nithyanandam Paramashivam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvadidam Gagan Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadhilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamasharam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Mahadidam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam. With the auspicious blessings and grace of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, we are here with you today discussing the Chitra Pournama celebrations that are happening in KAILASA, Tiruvannamali. Today is in fact the 16th anniversary of the KAILASA in Tiruvannamali. And my name is Shri Nitya Rajananda Maharaj. And with me, we have Shri Nitya Brahmasukananda Maharaj. And we're going to be discussing today more details about the celebrations going on there in Tiruvannamali. There's a little bit background about Tiruvannamali, Kailasa and Tiruvannamali. And of course, so much is there to talk about. Tiruvannamali is the very birthplace of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Yes.
So we can begin, Maharaj. Actually, Tiruvannamali is one of the sacred ecosystems that the Supreme Pontiff himself chose to be born in, and it was in that very place that he manifested as a bright light, and he became from Paramashiva, unmanifest, to manifest in the very sacred place of Tiruvannamali. It is in Tiruvannamali that the ecosystem is all-encompassing. You can say it is having Paramashiva, as he made the threefold promise in the Skanda Purana. He is there in the form of the Arunachala hill. He is there in the form of the Arunachaleshwara, the deity in the temple, and he's also there in the form of the continuous lineage of enlightened masters. So this is one of the most sacred enlightened ecosystems. And today we are celebrating the 16th anniversary of Kailasa in Tiruvannamali. In 2008, on this very day of Chitra Pournami, the full moon day in the Tamil month of Chitra, it is on this very day that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism inaugurated the Kailasa there, the small piece of land there that has in the last 16 years developed into a grand Annadan contributing facility where continuously spiritual programs are given to all of the people who come. And Tiruvannamali, there's so much to speak about Tiruvannamali, of course, Maharaj, but today also we are getting ready for the Nitya Satsang, where we'll be hearing from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on a special topic and more revelations on Parama Advaitha Shakthigal. Always, we're always, whenever the Supreme Pontiff comes, it is something fresh, it is something new, it is something profound for each one of us.
Yes.
So that is something that we are very much looking forward to today. And today we get to learn about Kailasa in Tiruvannamali and how Kailasa in Tiruvannamali is one of the greatest contributors right now to the already existing enlightened ecosystem there in Tiruvannamali.
And also, I would like to add that along with the Nitya Satsang today, the celebration of the 16th anniversary, as you said, of the inauguration of KAILASA in Tiruvannamali, the powerful ecosystem of Adi Arunachala Sarvagya Peetham, which was established by Paramashiva himself and has been continuing through the long lineage, the unbroken lineage of enlightened masters. And right now, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the current spiritual head, the current ruling head of the Tiruvannamali Samrajyam, the Adi Arunachala Sarvagya Peetham, the Enlightenment ecosystem, which he is now reviving. And the seeds of that revival were sown 16 years ago, right? 2008, when the KAILASA in Tiruvannamali was inaugurated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And that's where the whole revival of KAILASA in Tiruvannamali started. And since then, we have just seen, outpouring of all kinds of activities, devotees, disciples, because Tiruvannamali is a Chitra, it's a very powerful ecosystem still today, alive and thriving. And just to celebrate that, this what the Supreme Pontiff is reviving today as a part of our celebration, we will also be having a grand Pratyaksha Pada Puja, right, which will be offered to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. It will be broadcast live on Nithyananda TV. And we will be guiding you all along. You can have the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. At that time, you may enjoy, be a part of the celebration. And even if you want, you can also donate and actually offer the Pratyaksha Pada Puja yourself. Why keep yourself away when the Guru is there waiting for you? Just a simple token of offering yourself at his feet, surrendering to him, will just do magic in your life. As we are going along, we will be talking a lot about each and every aspect that we have introduced to you. What is the Tiruvannamali ecosystem? Why Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism chose that ecosystem to manifest on planet Earth, and how he is now reviving the enlightened ecosystem of Tiruvannamali, and in fact, the entire world, the whole of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, through these various powerful ecosystems. Just a few days ago, we were talking about the Madurai ecosystem, the Shamalapita Sarvagya Peetham. Just like that, another very powerful ecosystem is this Tiruvannamali Samrajyam, the Adi Arunachala Sarvagya Peetham, manifested, created by Paramashiva, established by Paramashiva, continuing through the unbroken lineage of enlightened master called Siddhars in the local colloquial Tamil language. And right now, the authority being passed on to the current spiritual head, who is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam himself. And it is in his divine presence today, we will be celebrating the 16th anniversary of inauguration of KAILASA in Tiruvannamali.
Yes, Maharaj, thank you. So we can begin this discussion with just talking about what is actually happening today, right now, in Tiruvannamali. Tiruvannamali has one of the biggest Shaiva temples, functioning Shaiva temples in the world. It is actually the largest Shiva temple functioning in the world.
Wow.
And it has festivities going year round, and it is so it has so many prakarams and levels inside the temple. And Swamiji himself grew up inside one of these prakarams, inside the agraharam of the temple.
This is the Arunachaleshwara temple that we're talking about,
yes,
right?
The Arunachaleshwara temple itself. And this temple being the largest, it attracts so many devotees every year, every month actually. Just every month, every full moon, millions of people come. Just imagine a city which is population over a period of just 3 days, every full moon increases by millions and then reduces.
Yes.
Such a way that the way that the economy and the people can accommodate all of this means you have to have a sustainable bathrooms, you need to have food, you need to have everything sustainable to be able to accommodate just a million people influx. And that is how Hinduism is able to create infrastructure and adjust and create this.
And it's actually the power of seeking, Maharaj, right? It's that simple devotion, that strong feeling connection that people feel, the devotees feel towards Paramashiva. In fact, Tiruvannamala is the place when Paramashiva is residing there in the form of the Arunachala hill. The hill itself is Paramashiva in form. And there's a story which, Maharaj, you can even tell people. But I'll just summarize.
Yes.
So, Paramashiva resides there in the form of that hill. And there's a practice, there's a ritual every full moon day, every Pournami. right? Every Pournima Tithi, devotees from all around the country, not just Tiruvannamali, all over Tamil Nadu and even outside Tamil Nadu, they gather there, they flock there for a sacred circumambulation around the sacred Arunachala. It is called the Girivalam in local language. It's a ritual of paying obeisance, paying respect, and paying devotion, and to Paramashiva himself in the form of the Arunachala hill, going around the hill and chanting the name of Paramashiva and just connecting to him. Doing that small act of tapas, just going around the hill. Many people even walk barefoot, right? So during this ritual, exactly, the Kailasa in Tiruvannamali is situated just exactly on the Girivalam path.
And so right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Yes.
Wow. So what happens is people who are flocking there in thousands and thousands to have, actually not in thousands, in lakhs, I think. Yes, more than a lakh, more than 100,000 people are gathering there to do this Girivalam every 15 days, every fortnight. And Kailasa and Tiruvannamali is just at the right spot where the current spiritual head, the supreme point of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, they can have his darshan, they can enjoy the Annadana, the Nithyanandana that is happening there, which is one of the most strongest and most fundamental acts of service that we can do, we can offer to keep the ecosystem alive, which we have been talking about a lot during the Chitra Padula. So all these things just add up to the whole revival of the Tiruvannamali ecosystem and getting people more and more involved, enriching them. This is how the supreme point of Hinduism is adding so much to their life and making the people even realize the importance of these rituals and what this really means, what is the significance from the in-depth, giving the in-depth value and really initiating them. People are even getting Shiva Diksha. So it's really getting the people back, aligning them back to their roots, their true identity, to Sanatana Hindu Dharma, to their tradition, to their history, the real history. So this just says a lot about what all is happening. I'm so excited to just even delve into this whole story, into this entire topic and what we are celebrating today.
Yes, Maharaj, we've been talking about Annadanam only, but the whole vision that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has for the Annadanam that is there in Tiruvannamali is a whole different vision. It is actually, so profound actually how it is given that not just Kailasa Tiruvannamali. Kailasa Tiruvannamali should be able to provide for the infrastructure to have the entire Girivalam covered with places where every few steps someone has something to eat, someone has water to drink, someone has some, maybe if they're not having a full meal, they have some fruits to have. It is literally like providing and caring for someone to really find oneness with Paramashiva. That is a whole environment and goal there. It is just to provide a basic infrastructure that just says food is there available to you. It is there in plenty. There is no need to struggle. There is no need to commit any crime. There is no need to even be desperate or worry about it. Food is there available to you. It is there in plenty. And that is the goal of the Nitya Aushada Annadana. Literally, the food in Tiruvannamali is cooked in the mass modern day kitchens, and then from there it is served continuously throughout the 2-3 days that the pilgrims come for the Pournima, for the Girivalam. So when they come, all of them are literally Paramashiva themselves. So we must take care of them. We must attend to each and every one of them. That is the literal vision of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Those who are walking on that path, those who are going around Paramashiva, Girivalam. Of course, the sacred hill of Arunachala has so much of sanctity, so much of purity. That is what Achala means, literally, the embodiment of purity. And Arunachala is the fiery mountain of purity. That is what Arunachala is. And if you just have a glimpse of it, you will just see it is Paramashiva in itself. It radiates such a powerful spiritual energy that just attracts so many spiritual seekers from all over the world, as you said. And then just catering to that, nurturing that, and seeing Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has lived in and out of Tiruvannamali, and when he accredits almost everything to Tiruvannamali. In fact, if he said that if his life was a movie, his birth itself would be the climax, because he was born in Tiruvannamali, he was born in Arunachala, So that is the way that he cherishes Arunachala, Tiruvannamali in his inner space, and continuously reminds people. So the very vision of how he's attending to the seekers and the possibility of more and more enlightenment happening, as he is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and he is the Nija Avtara, the 1008 incarnation of Paramashiva today. It is his very part of his incarnationhood to create more and more enlightened beings and facilitate such way to create that. So the Aushadha Annadanam and having this continuously healing the lower tendencies of people is a part of that, and it is part of literally creating an enlightened ecosystem around already beautifully existing enlightened ecosystem in Tiruvannamali. So it is just literally, if you can see, when we see the Shastras talking about taking and creating a new enlightened civilization, you can just see it happen in front of your eyes. We're seeing continuously for the past 24 hours in our NTV channels how much people are coming, the crowds coming in and taking a part of the Aushadha Annadana food, which is the blessed food by Paramashiva, to heal the internal organs, to heal all the physical ailments and give a positive, life positive, conscious breakthrough to anybody. So that is the ground level at which we are seeing the work of the Supreme Pontiff happening in Kailasa, Tiruvannamali.
Yes, even when we just watch the live telecast of the Annadanam, the Nithyananda that is happening there, we see people, coming in just, at least 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. It's not a small number.
It's an ocean of people.
The ocean of people, exactly. Just, and exactly that's what depicts, that's what demonstrates the power of this ecosystem, which is even alive today. Even recently, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism made a statement in his Satsang that if the founders of Hinduism, they came and they walk in the streets today in India, in Bharat, they will not have a cultural shock. Why? Because seeing this, who will have a cultural shock? They'll be pleased, they will be so happy. Just the same way, thousands and tens of thousands of years ago, how Hinduism, how Sanatana Hindu Dharma was alive, how this ecosystem was alive and thriving in Bharat at that time. You see these things, same rituals, same kinds of dressing style. Even many people, when they traditionally they wear dresses during these festivals, how they connect with the deities, what they do, how they celebrate. Each of these things is almost the same as it used to be earlier. And the power of this ecosystem is such that even, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself said that even to manifest an incarnation, for an incarnation to manifest on planet Earth, you need a powerful ecosystem. They cannot land just anywhere, even if they have the power, but at least for their initial years to groom, when they are a little child. Even Krishna, when he came, he had to study in a Gurukul. There was a need for a Gurukul to be there in the first place, and all the enlightened masters to guide, right? Even for Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra Prabhu, when he came, they all Bhagavan Sri Ram, Lakshman, all the brothers, they studied in a Gurukul, right? Under Vashishta at that too. So you needed a Gurukul. You needed someone like Vashishta to teach them. You needed someone like Vishwamitra to guide him, right? So you need all these people. You need all these enlightened masters. You need all this ecosystem for even God to come and land for doing the job that he's coming down to do. This actual ecosystem present on the planet Earth, which really makes the purpose of an incarnation come true, is the most important thing that we have to understand here. For that purpose only, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism even made the statement that at that time, if you just scan, out of all the enlightenment ecosystems present on the planet Earth, he only chose Tiruvannamali because that was the only one that was at that time that powerful, right?
Yes.
Now, if we see, we don't know. Because everything, so much of dilution is happening. Even among Hindus, we see so much of westernization, so much of dilution, people going off track in the enlightenment ecosystem becoming diluted. So it is even more important for us today to not just say, but actually revive these enlightenment ecosystems for continuing to continue the responsibility which Hindus are really, which is in their very DNA, right?
Yes.
The Hinduism is basically the science. It has the responsibility to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity in every age, right? Even Bhagavan Krishna makes this promise that I will come again and again. But for him to come again and again, we have to keep the ecosystem alive.
Yes.
Right? That is exactly the job. That is exactly the work that Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, Supreme Point of Hinduism, he is doing today. He's reviving Enlightenment ecosystems to keep them alive for future generations, not only for today, to keep them alive forever and ever, so that whenever there is a need, right, descent can happen, the right incarnation can happen and revive it again. The science can be kept alive. The ecosystems need to be saved for that. And this Adi Arunachala Sarvagnya Peetham, KAILASA in Tiruvannamali, is one of the most powerful ecosystems that Paramashiva himself has chosen to land in, so that he gets the right grooming, the right atmosphere, the right training when we talk about the Guru Parampara. Because all that the Supreme Point of Hinduism is doing in his satsang, in his own words, is just singing the glory of his gurus, right? You can even elaborate.
Actually, it is a super consciousness that is kept, a super consciousness that is kept alive through the Guru Sishya Parampara.
Yes. Yes.
That is the backbone of this whole tradition.
Mm.
The Guru Sishya Parampara, that is the whole lineage of enlightened sciences, whether it is the yogic sciences, whether it is the science of Vedanta, whether it is the sciences of Shaiva Siddhanta, all these different lineages, sampradayas. In fact, inside Tiruvannamali, there are thousands of small sampradayas. They're literally, in the words today, we have to say indigenous religions. They are the small religions there who are just held together by that one, that the ecosystem itself, and they are beautifully, it is like a tight packed enlightened energy.
Exactly. See, people really don't understand Hinduism. They just match it or compare it with the organized religions of today.
Yes.
But it is not. It is more like an open system, and yet centralized, decentralized, and yet centralized.
Yes,
right?
actually, the way that the many Hindus are unfortunately looking into even the whole temple sciences is that it is a grand architecture. It is architectural excellence.
Yes.
It is not actually architectural excellence. It is beautiful, yes, grand, but it was a possibility from power manifesting consciousness.
Exactly.
That is what is what the Supreme Pontiff's message is to all Hindus, that it is super conscious backing. That is what is able to give us infrastructure like temples and the yoga sciences. It is because we have super consciousness as our backing. Who is the super conscious? It is not the super consciousness. It's like we're saying gods are on our side. No, they are living. They are alive with us, and they exist in and around and among us as enlightened beings. As the Supreme Pontiff of Buddhism was surrounded by enlightened beings when he was growing up, his own gurus. In the same way, there are possibility of hundreds of lakhs of enlightened beings in and around the whole world, and especially concentrated inside, whether in the body or not in the body, inside the whole Tiruvannamali ecosystem. There are literally, you can say, millions of consciousnesses that are just poured into the work of Arunachala, especially Paramashiva himself there, who is in the form of Arunagiri Yogeshwara, Swamiji's very own guru, Parama Guru, our own Parama Guru, who we worship every day. So he is also there, living, existing, breathing in the form, and also in the forms. You can experience him there in Tirunamale. So it is only with the super conscious backing that the super consciousness, as the central thread, as Krishna says, he is the thread that is in the string of the mala's beads, the garland's beads. So in the same way, that singular thread is the super consciousness, and that is kept alive in Tirunamali.
You have to understand it, because we have been talking about how, the importance of keeping the ecosystem alive. But who keeps this ecosystem alive? It is only and only Hindu gurus who keep the Hindu ecosystem alive. It is only because of this unbroken lineage, the Avichinna Guru Parampara, and as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism puts it, it is the unbroken lineage of enlightened masters and incarnations who keep this science of Hinduism alive through the process of initiation, through Diksha. Only someone who has the personal experience of super consciousness, of oneness, and also has the adhikara, the authority to transmit it to another person, to initiate the another person into it, and in turn to initiate another person to initiate another person. Who has the adhikara? Only by transmission through these guru to disciple, this unbroken lineage. It is only because of that this ecosystem has been kept alive even today. And we should also mention among all the ancient civilizations, there were 49 ancient civilizations. All of them have been destroyed. All of them have been destroyed. Only one, that is the Hindu civilization, is remaining. Because of what? It is only because of Hindu gurus and Hindu incarnations who have given their whole life and whole being to keep this tradition alive. It is not just a, just a personal, social or cultural tradition which you have gotten from forefathers. That also has value, no doubt. But this is something much more. This is literally the fire of super consciousness which you have to pass on from generation to generation, right? Like candle lighting another candle, that lighting another candle. This has to be done. Only when this is done, the ecosystem is kept alive. And that is exactly what the problem here today is, which we must even at least touch upon. So much of attacks the Hinduism is facing, right? Basically, the attack fundamentally is on Hindu gurus. It is the Hindu gurus which have been attacked, which are being maligned, the character assassination, whatnot. Basically, the anti-spiritual forces, the Hindu media, anti-Hindu forces, just by destroying the Guru Parampara, they know they are intelligent enough, right? They know just by destroying the gurus, they can destroy the finish of the whole ecosystem. That is why so many Hindu gurus are facing persecution today, right? And among all the Hindu gurus, it is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism who has faced the worst persecution, right? Worst lawfare, media character assassination, actual physical assassination attempts, whatnot he has faced. And he still continues with his vigor to do what he has come to do, that is to revive the enlightenment ecosystem of Sanatana Hindu Dharma on planet Earth. And that's why he is created KAILASA.
And if you see, even in the cunningness of the Hindu media forces, they always portray the Supreme Pontiff as being someone who is self-styled. But if you see the Kailasa, just to see the Kailasa website, and just see how we even address ourselves, how we even wear ourselves, what we're sitting on, all of these come from a Guru Parampara. All of these are kept alive through a Guru Parampara. There is nothing self-styled in that. It is keeping a tradition alive. And that is the point that everyone needs to understand, that it is the Guru Parampara that kept the whole Hinduism alive. Even Bhagavan Sri Krishna says it is the kings and the Raji Rishya, the kings who are enlightened and the rishis who kept this science alive, who revive it again and again. And I come again to revive the whole tradition. And when adharma takes over, when negativity, collective negativity takes over and hurts the possibility of enlightened consciousness happening, then he incarnates again and again and brings the possibility again of that level of superconscious DNA manifesting.
Yes. In fact, we would also like to invite all our viewers who are watching us to put your opinions, put your thoughts, any questions you have in the comment section. We would love to get you involved and learn what all you're thinking, what all your opinions are, and even respond to your comments. So please feel free to put your comments in the comment section. And yes, Maharaj, we have been talking. This whole thing is so juicy. The entire revival of KAILASA that is happening, and that actually the first start we can say is just when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was born in Tiruvannamali. He started the whole revival of KAILASA. First, we can say happened from the KAILASA in Tiruvannamali itself, right?
Yes.
So that is the importance, that is the significance. And the entire Guru Parampara, he just, even today he sings the glory of all his gurus. In each of the sampradaya, he had the gurus, right? That is the importance of the Tiruvannamali ecosystem. Yes. Each and every sampradaya, so many of gurus he was blessed to have been groomed by, and especially when Paramashiva himself came as Arunagiri Yogeshwara, and those 9 months, the golden 9 months they spent together, and that is it. That just did the whole thing, and he got the oneness experience after that.
Yes, Maharaj. And I think even what we know, we have not, from what we know, the initiations and the revelations that are given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has not even scratched the surface of what depth of content and what depth of initiations Arunagiri Yogeshwara gave to the Supreme Pontiff at that time. There is just so much more to learn, so much more that we have as a future for us in KAILASA, in the lap of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as he's teaching us all of these sciences one by one.
I think he even made this statement in one of the Satsangs, I think a couple of years before. Right now, I'm just opening my handbag. Luggage is on the way.
And yes, there's so much to see. And even if you just let's look at the actual KAILASA. What is it that is doing? What is it that is prepared every month to provide for the people who come in Tiruvannamali? We say the whole ecosystem is there. What happens to someone who comes inside KAILASA in Tiruvannamali? They first see that the whole governance of KAILASA, which is based on the truth that You have a right to know that you are Paramashiva, to treat others as Paramashiva, and to be treated as Paramashiva. And this is the way that anybody who comes to Kailasa and Tiruvannamali is treated. The person who can come to the Kailasa and Tiruvannamali has an opportunity to partake the Nitya Aushadha Annadana, the food that is energized, blessed by Paramashiva, that will help you to remove not just the hunger that is keeping you in your stomach, but the hunger of many lifetimes of seeking Paramashiva himself. Just to be fortunate to come and be able to go around the mountain of Arunachala is itself rare among births. And then again, to be able to find Paramashiva in the form of your own guru, that is even more rare. And that opportunity is given, and the Annadana is one part of that. And as well, and partaking that food as much as you want. Fill yourself, and it is not like anybody will become unhealthy by eating Aushadha Annadana. They will become very healthy, and they will also be able to be more aware, sattvic, productive in their lives. And apart from that, people get to come and get healing. Continuously, the Nitya healing is available to people who come to Kailasa and Tiruvannamali. Any consolations, anything that they need as an immediate solution in their life. People are, our Kailasa Vasis are there available to them to answer any of their questions, answer any of their doubts, and immediately give a solution, give the healing that is there based in our Shastras itself, and give the life positively. So it is literally an ecosystem within an ecosystem that is just giving, contributing again back socially. Just having someone treat you as Paramashiva, having someone give you the idea that, hey, you are Paramashiva, this is how you can heal yourself from this, giving you that idea. Then finally telling, everyone also has a right to treat you also as Paramashiva. So come and be a part of the ecosystem that is literally living this truth as a reality. And that is what the promise is, and the contribution of Kailasa and Tiruvannamali as far as the social level. And of course, the Annadanam has a lot to do with just taking care of all the basic needs of someone. When someone's basic needs are taken care, they have an opportunity and scope to do more contributions themselves in their lives.
Yes. Because the basics are taken care of, because it is also the fundamental of the Hindu economics, which we don't really know about, which people need to know, that Paramashiva himself has given in the Agama how to run an economy. People don't really understand it. They don't see Paramashiva as an economist, but that is true. He has given the entire Shastra, the whole set of do's and don'ts and all the laws about how to run an economy according to the Dharma, according to the cosmic science of Hinduism. And giving free food, giving free clothing, basic shelter, education free of cost, healthcare also. It forms the bedrock of the economics in the Hindu economy. So because that is the way it is, because ultimately Paramashiva's economy is compassion based.
Yes.
It is not exploitation based. Right? Currently people are unfortunately being exploited because of whatever is happening. We are a part of the fear and greed based economy, right? The grid that we are a part of, it's a fear and greed mechanism that is operating continuous rat race, making us run for what even we don't know. And the basics are not even taken care of. Basic survival instincts are kicked off, and always people feeling insecure within themselves, and even anger and vengeance towards the society coming. So all these things will be just taken away. It will be just taken away with basic act.
The Supreme Court of Hinduism has addressed this world issue very much in many of the Satsang last year, where he talked about how there is just a complete imbalance in the society, where on one side you have food is just being dumped into the oceans, and food just being wasted into the ocean, and on one side you're having the poverty and people just dying of hunger. How can we have a world like this? And this is a stark reality.
Such an important point. 40% of the food is getting wasted in the United States. Can you imagine that 40% of the food is getting wasted, just dumped? And here we have in the third world countries and many of the poor nations, people literally dying, children dying, women dying out of hunger.
Yes.
They're not able to, even basic health they don't have because of this nutrition deficit that they are facing. So what kind of economics we are really talking about? What kind of society we have created, right? That's why we need the knowledge, we need the whole information of what Hinduism has already in store for us, what Paramashiva has already declared and what he has already shared and told us to do, which we are not doing. And this information deficit is something which we have to, even the Supreme Court, he has taken the responsibility to reduce this information deficit, to give people this entire knowledge, share with them what Hinduism is, what it shares, all the gifts of Hinduism, bringing it to the people, reviving the whole Hindu economy also. Doing this act of Annadanam is one of the most powerful ways to make it happen, to revive the whole Hindu economy, the society, a dharmic society to start with. Then comes all the great spiritual benefits that come. Because empty stomach, what will people understand about spirituality in the first place, right? So once we take care of the basic needs, then straight away taking them to the superconscious breakthrough and giving them the right cognitions about who they really are, initiating them into their true purpose and their true identity, which is the very goal of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Everything is taken care of in this ecosystem.
Yes. And everything is actually told in how Hinduism introduces you to you. Hinduism introduces you to you as super consciousness. That is how you start the whole thing. You don't have to sit and do any practice. And as Supreme Court of Hinduism says, practice is a 4-letter word. Because you don't have to sit and do any practice. You are declared as Amritasya Putraha. You are the sons of immortality. You are super consciousness. You are super consciousness. Now contribute. Contribute to the way that you will express properly. So whether it is your physical labor, whether it is your ability to move money, whether it is your ability to protect and govern and guard, whether it is your ability to contribute through jnana, giving the spiritual knowledge to people. That these are the ways that Hinduism declares the 4 varna, ashrama, dharma as contributors to society. And you are considered first as a contributor. Many people say that it is somebody's duty. The word duty is also used, but it is not a duty, it is your right. That is the way that the Supreme Pontiff is reviving this whole tradition, telling it from the original sense that it is your right. You're a super consciousness. If you are all capable, then you must have the intention and the ability to continuously contribute in your own way to the world, in the way that is going to be most fulfilling to others, and it will also in that way fulfill you. And that is way. It is like if people say that there is something called delayed gratification. It is like Hinduism says that there is gratification, but you don't have to work for it. As the Bhagavad Gita says, that you don't have a claim over the results of your action. You only have a claim to do action continuously. Yes. And that is where you can really get rid of all of these disagreements, all the fights, and all the disharmony that happens between people becomes redundant when you have a city or a population that is only thinking at the level of contributing. And how do you create it? You can create it with this base building block that is Annadana.
Yes, because now when you are providing the basic necessities, basic food, so all the survival instincts are taken away. All the basic insecurities, the vengeance that people carry, the violence that people carry, the whole thing will just die down. And once that is done, then people can simply contribute. They can simply take responsibility and contribute, and manifest their Paramashiva, Parama Advaitha, because the contribution is enriching, right? Enriching is the way to manifest integrity. It is the perfect way to manifest authenticity, and it is the way to even manifest responsibility. Because once you have to enrich, you decide, I have to enrich the world, I have to contribute, then you will naturally take responsibility and you will be authentic, because to enrich more and more and more, you have to expand yourself, you have to grow. And enriching will really work only when you are doing it with integrity. So all the 4 tattvas and everything that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is sharing, the gifts of Hinduism, the knowledge, the initiation, everything is, can be put into this one box called contribution or enriching. Everything else will follow. Everything else will be taken care of.
Yes, Maharaj. And also, if you just see, like you just mentioned, that you have to go on contributing. That is a way that a person will gracefully age in their life also. If you see in the Western model of becoming retired and relaxing in life, such a possibility is not even allowed when it comes to Hindus. Actually, even though I don't know, we have to find the statistics on this, but I am sure that most of those people who are walking around doing Girivalam every month regularly are above the age of 40.
Above the age of 40.
Above the age of, definitely, because that is just, they become a part of their lifestyle, and they will just go on walking around Arunachala, Paramashiva for the rest of their life. That is the fulfillment that they have been able to achieve. And that, for sure, it is a population that is above the age of 40, I'm sure we have to find the truth about this. But once we know that they are all going around the hill, just imagine the health that they do. Of course, you'll plan your life. I have to go around the hill. I have to walk 14 kilometers at the end of the month. I have to be up and about. I cannot become lazy. And you will just move your life. Life is just after 40 becomes another life. Literally reborn. You have no possibilities to contribute, to have to create more possibilities in your own family and in the world itself. It's all about expansion, and that is the way that is.
I don't even think it is a gracefully aging one. I think it's anti-aging actually.
Yes, that's right.
You reduce your age. You don't even age. You see, even aging gracefully is only one step. Next step, which Hinduism really is about the power of immortality, Amritattva. Actually, anti-aging. Go back. Look at the Supreme Court of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam. He's literally anti-aging.
Yes, absolutely. Because if you see how in the Western model it is, you will be doing less work when you're older than when you're younger. But in our case, what we see, all of the people who are above 40 or above 50 in their 60s, even they do more work. They do more work than any of the people who are 30s. People are just the way a lot of people are just learning life. But it is only the people who are older who are just they're running temples, they are contributing in many different ways, and that is just the way, and that is even proven as the successful model of Hinduism all around the world. But all Hindus, after they go out and spread Hinduism in the world and live this Hindu lifestyle in the world, they may be knowing it or unknowing it, knowingly doing it or unknowingly doing it, but by nature they just create an environment around them because they come from a very stable family and they like it, and it's functioning for them very well, and they create that everywhere they go. And just that stable family unit in itself creates so much business, creates so much of this anti-aging that you're talking about. All the people are not put into, all the elderly are not put into old age homes. Rather, they become the people who literally govern the whole stable family and then create. And
they are the ones in charge, actually. And even I think, I remember the Supreme Court of Hinduism also sharing that with age, you get more experience. So that experience will naturally make you more active, more of a contributor.
Correct.
It's not the other way around, which we unfortunately have come to believe, right? With age, you will suddenly become more less and less contributing, but actually more, because something is now added to you. So you share more, you contribute more, right? So naturally, this all is a part of this whole ecosystem.
And I mean, for sure, I have seen elderly who've done so much, who are just active, physically active. They're just all over the temple, all over doing the sevas continuously and just making all the young guys look very bad. They are continuously contributing, continuously going.
Maharaj, you're just talking about being active. Do you remember Mahabharata? All the Dronacharyas, Acharya Kripa, all these people, even Bhishma, I think, they were all, I think, 70, 80 years at that time. And they were the warriors. They were the most formidable warriors at that time. Nobody could even stand.
They had the Maharathis. They had the biggest armies at that time. They developed. So that is the thing. It is there in Hinduism to be continuously contributing.
It is a power.
No matter what age you have.
It is a power.
Yes.
It is a power that we have a right to manifest. Just that right ecosystem has to be there. The right initiation from the right master, from the incarnation himself, has to be there, which is a very significant, most important part, that initiation, the Diksha, which we get from the Supreme Court of Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam if we attend the Paramashivoham program. Right? So the next season of Paramashivoham is starting on May 15th, and it is personally taken by the Supreme Court of Hinduism. He personally initiates, guides everyone, and gives them the best gifts that the Hinduism has to offer, which he himself has descended to give and share to the entire world. So what are you waiting for? Just say one yes and scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen and be a part of this experience. Give your own self, give your own life a breakthrough, and let the incarnation do the job in your life, do the magic in your life. So for that, you have to scan the QR code, the Paramashivoham QR code. If you wish to be a part of this 21-day program, Paramashivoham program, and fill the intention form, our team will reach out to you shortly. And as we speak about the Annadana Seva constantly happening, if you also wish to be a part of this great service that is being offered in KAILASA in Tiruvannamali, every fortnight, in fact, it is offered every Pournami, it is offered. So we request you to also scan the QR code for donation, which is also being projected at the bottom of your screen, and be a part, be a contributor to this revival, great revival of Kailasa that is happening by the Supreme Point of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Yes, Maharaj. So as we are speaking.
Yes, Maharaj. Actually, one last point. We have Pratyaksha Pada Puja coming up. And this is a very auspicious time, especially on the 16th anniversary of Kailasa and Tiruvannamali. Of course, offering Pratyaksha Pada Puja is one of the rarest things among human beings, because when you have Paramashiva in your life as the form of the Guru, take every opportunity you have. Take every chance you have to be at his feet and worship him, and especially during the Chitra Pournami, because this time it is literally we celebrate him as Arunachala. We celebrate him because Arunachala is the one who gave us our beloved Swamiji. It is a time that we give gratitude back to that whole ecosystem, to the whole Kailasa ecosystem that was kept as a seed in Tiruvannamali and given to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Through his gurus and through the Guru Parampara. See, the Shastras say, Smaranat Mukti Arunachala. Just by remembering Arunachala, you have the experience of liberation. Whatever it is that you're going, just by remembering that mountain, you'll have the experience of just liberation from your sufferings. And I feel, Maharaj, that anybody who knows the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and anybody who has had an impact from him in their life personally, any transformation, and are a follower of him, or just a fan even, they will understand that just by even remembering Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, they have a glimpse of little bit of bliss is just comes into their life. The same experience that one gets when remembering Arunachala can be attributed to our beloved Swamiji. Because whenever anybody, in any way, just remembers the Supreme Pontiff of Hindus, just remember his form, remembering his smile. This is a power manifestation. This is actually the source of power manifestation. Just to be able to remember him and then conduct your day and then conduct your life. That is the way that Paramashiva has happened in our life. And in that way, we can say that and worship him as Arunachala himself, as the one who just gives liberation just in his remembrance, just remembering him in your inner space. You can experience tremendous relief and relief from all of the sufferings in your life. And that is the way we cognize also. We cognize that he's in our inner space and we are him, we are Paramashiva. And that is the way that we say Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. We celebrate that we are him, that we are having that possibility, and he takes us to that same oneness space. So Pratyaksha Pada Puja is just an opportunity today to give that gratitude for him being in our lives. So for him being the Arunachala in life. If you love Tiruvannamali, if you love Arunachala, and if you are just floored by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and his magnificence in his contribution in your life, then today is the day you should take the opportunity to offer the Pratyaksha Pada Puja at his divine lotus feet. We give Arunachala, we are celebrating today Arunachala himself and giving our gratitude to him who is in our life, who is Arunachala in our lives, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
I think we should take 5 minutes to tell the story of Arunachala, how he manifested. Can you tell?
The story of the Brahma and Vishnu.
Yes.
That's the place actually where in the cosmos, the physical plane, where in the Bhuloka at least, where that infinite pillar of light that Paramashiva showed himself as to Brahma and Vishnu. That physical place is exactly where Arunachala is. And that is extremely powerful, sacred ground, literally. And that area is where Paramashiva manifested and landed as a hill. And of course, the Arunachala Puranam, Arunachala Mahatyam goes on telling how it was literally a golden mountain in the Yuga and in the Satyuga.
It changes its form based on the Yugas also, right?
Correct.
Also very interesting.
It is Paramashiva, and in the Kali Yuga, we are literally seeing it as a green mountain. It is an emerald mountain. That is what the Shastra says. And of course, we are with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. He's literally taking all of us back to Satyuga. And in taking us back to Satyuga, he's establishing Kailasa. That is, everything is gold. Taking us back to the golden age, where we can literally see golden temples, golden power manifestation happening in front of us. Everything is taking us back to the golden age. And
the ancient world order.
Correct, the ancient world order. Just the same cycle. You can just see it happening through the creation of Shri Kailasa.
So neither the old world order nor the new world order will really work. It is only the ancient world order that is going to work. That is the whole revival of Kailasa, which we are talking about. The revival of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation, the Kailasa, the revival of that personally spearheaded by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, by reviving all of these powerful enlightenment ecosystems, especially as we talk today about the Adi Arunachala Sarvapita,
Yes.
and the story of how it started, what is Arunachala, how it manifested in the first place, and that is what even the three vows you can talk about, Maharaj,
Yes,
which are a part of the Arunachala Puranam, right?
yes, the threefold promise
Yes.
that Paramashiva gives. Paramashiva gives the promise that he will always be there in the town of Tiruvannamali. No matter who they are, he will be there. He promises he will be there in the form of the Arunachala Hill,
Yes.
and in the form of the Arunachaleshwara Linga in the Shiva in the temple, and also in the form of the Siddhas, of the Mahapurushas that are continuously there. In the form of one sadhu or another, he'll be there. And the lineage of enlightened masters, he established as Arunagiri Yogeshwara, and he's going to be there in that lineage. And in that lineage, there's a Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism who was initiated as the 1008th incarnation of Paramshiva, and he's the one who inherited the entire Arunachala Samrajyam that was established by Arunagiri Yogeshwara himself.
Because even today, when we see one by one, each of these powerful ecosystems getting either diluted or in the worst case destroyed, we see Paramashiva himself keeping his promise. As he promised, right? He will always be there. Basically, what is he promising? He's promising, I created this ecosystem and I am responsible to keep it alive. This is exactly the same promise which he has kept to the word that he has come down again as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, the Paramavatara, the living manifestation of Paramashiva himself, descended in the modern day for reviving the ecosystem, for reviving Sanatana Hindu Dharma on planet Earth, take the humanity to the next level altogether.
Yes, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism always tells about Arunachala. He says that I enjoyed a wonderful spiritual incubator in Arunachala, my birthplace during my childhood. I experienced galloping intelligence in the inner space and in the inner worlds and the outer worlds in the wonderful ambience created by it. So Arunachala, he says, is an incubator. As you know, an incubator is a machine that brings a premature baby to full form, back into a healthy healthy newborn. So in the same way, an incubator, what the Supreme Pontiff is telling is that in Arunachala, it can give you the nourishment, the spiritual nourishment, the spiritual oxygen, you can say, and literal environment for you to literally be newborn, to be literally expressing and manifesting super consciousness.
Like even when we see today, let's say in any Silicon Valley or startups, when we build a new startup, there are so many startup incubators also for exactly this purpose, right? Which get investments from the seed investors. Some of the universities also invest, some part of the industry also invests, some government also invests. So they come together and they create an incubator, startup incubator, for encouraging and actually making startups happen in your own society, in your own country.
Okay.
We have this in India as well. We have this in US as well. All these, even in Israel, so many of actually these things are a very important part of how to grow your economy, how to involve the next generation into becoming innovators. So even these basics are not happening without an incubator.
Correct.
These incubators are so significant in this taking the economy of your country to the next level. So what to talk about spirituality?
Yes.
When it is literally your whole life and your whole consciousness which is involved.
Yes.
It needs a controlled environment, a proper place, a proper nourishment and proper environment under the guidance of someone who knows this whole thing inside out, right? That is the importance of a spiritual incubator, and Tiruvannamali is the most powerful spiritual incubator out there today.
As any you can say, the Kailasa and Tiruvannamali is literally that kind of a think tank.
Yes.
They're having a place where investing people time in the places where people can invest in themselves, can invest in the fields that is going to be contributing to the world, contributing to themselves.
Yes.
I said all these opportunities are now available in Kailasa. If someone wants to join as a volunteer, someone wants to join as an Kailasa Vasi, these are the opportunities that anybody has to be able to be a part of this incubator, the spiritual incubator that is there in Kailasa, Tiruvannamali.
And even the Supreme Court made the statement once, the Kailasa nation, right? It is nothing but the replication of the Tiruvannamali ecosystem.
Yes, he said that.
He is just copying and literally reviving and exactly reproducing the Tiruvannamali ecosystem as it is. That's all that Kailasa nation is.
And actually, this point about the spiritual incubator, Swamiji has first told it in 2006 when he inaugurated the Nithyananda Gurukul.
Oh,
It was in that moment when he was telling that I had Arunachala, hence I became what I am. So I must also create another an ecosystem, an incubator for more possibility.
for the future generation,
Correct,
right?
correct.
It is only the Hindu children, not just Hindu children, ultimately the entire humanity, right? Children who are the future of the whole humanity. That's why the proper incubator, the proper spiritual ecosystem for them to grow, to be groomed and to be nurtured with the right context, the right identity, the right cognitions, which will ultimately bear fruit and make them the active contributors and make them manifest Parama Advaitha, manifest oneness, manifest powers, be enlightened leaders of the whole upcoming humanity, for generations and generations to come. It all starts with sowing the right seeds and giving the right nourishment to the future generation, to the next generation. That will only happen in a proper, right spiritual ecosystem, which has these gurukuls running, right? In only a right ecosystem will allow the gurukuls to flourish. Ultimately, otherwise, we are seeing what is happening to Hindu gurukuls, right? Only when the ecosystem is there, proper ecosystem is there, protected, not just with religious freedom or cultural freedom, with legal freedom as well, legal protection as well. It is only with that whole entire revival of the ecosystem of Sanatana Hindu Dharma is possible. And it's only for this work that a Hindu nation is needed. And that is exactly why the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has decided, has created the Kailasa nation, the first nation for all Hindus. Literally the replication, the reproducing of the Tiruvannamali ecosystem as it is.
And there is also one QR code available for those who want to be a part of this great revival.
Yes.
The QR code, if you are interested in being a volunteer, whether you are whichever part of the world you are in, whether it is you are physically in the Bharat, in India, you can come to Tirunamali every month and volunteer your time and offer the Annadanam, help in the kitchen, do the cooking, learn how the Aushadha Annadanam is prepared, and also spend time in learning how the whole revival and the whole nourishment that we are just talking about, how the whole nourishment of spiritual lifestyle is being revived in Tirunamali, and be a part of that and take on some of that nourishment yourself and be a volunteer physically in Tirunamali. If you are not able to come, at least you can also join us in our digital infrastructures. We have so many volunteering opportunities for anyone to be a part, to join us in bringing Kailasa to everyone possible in the internet, to be able to take Kailasa's message, to take the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's initiations and all of his videos and all of his information, content, all of it out to the world. And this also is an opportunity for anyone interested in joining us as a volunteer digitally also.
Yes. In fact, when you're an e-citizen, you're also made an active contributor to the revival of Kailasa. Your opinions, your votes, all of them are taken into consideration. We are even running a series of Hindu votes on the official Twitter handle of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, bringing out the current issues which are plaguing the modern society and giving the right solution from the right context, from the context of Hinduism, which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is sharing with the whole world, and taking your opinion on each of these issues. What do you think should be done in a particular situation? What do you think should be, is the right thing to do for the modern society? So each of these opinions and whatever you vote, each of these is taken into consideration for even the decision making, which is a part of the whole responsible democracy, the Hindu democracy, which is given in the Shastra, which is being revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. That is why all of these things, when you actually get involved as an e-citizen of Kailasa, so you actually are on board. You're coming on board and being a part of this revival itself. You're not just a consumer, right? You're not just the benefactor of this whole revival of Kailasa. You're actually a member now. You're actually a part of the whole contribution. You are also becoming the hands and the legs of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, this extension of doing the work, the great revival of the Sanatana Hindu Dharma that we're doing today, and being a part of this whole great mission itself. So please scan the QR code to be an e-citizen of Kailasa. The e-citizen QR code is being projected also at the bottom of your screen, so you can scan it and fill the form and the team will reach out to you after that.
Yes, and one important thing when a few years back when Supreme Point of Hinduism was blessing us on this very day, Chitra Pournami, he mentioned an important point that I wanted to tell here, that it is Arunachala Sarvagni Peetham is older than time itself. It is from the beginning, from beyond time, and from that time only Arunachala has been there, the whole ecosystem has been there and created. It is only that KAILASA in Tiruvannamali, the Sarvagni Peetham that is revived by the Supreme Court of Hinduism in 2008. That revival, that celebration is what we are celebrating today in the 16th year since that date. And that is the celebration today in KAILASA Tiruvannamali. And
this is a celebration of the 16th anniversary of the inauguration of the modern day revival of the ecosystem, which is ageless, which is timeless.
Yes, that's the first way, correct way to say it.
Yes.
So
many things, even the Guru Parampara, all the gurus, each and everything, even the streets of Tiruvannamali, when the Supreme Court of Hinduism shares his stories with not just his gurus, but with the people, with the neighbors, with the friends, and everything was filled with this context of spirituality.
And the amount of the sadhus and the way that ecosystem is kept. I mean, I've never seen so many sadhus just casually living in the streets and just celebrating Arunachala. Just by seeing them, you can understand how the Supreme Pontiff would have grown up there. Just seeing them, you're just inspired by the way they're just celebrating their life on the lap of Arunachala. And there's just hundreds of thousands of them just sitting, and they also join and participate in the Girivalam and do these yatras along with everybody, and also a main force in just inspiring the whole community. It is this Guru Shishya Parampara, the sadhu sannyasas, sampradayas that keep that whole spiritual inspiration alive. It is beautiful to see that also in Tiruvannamali, and continuously Tiruvannamali KAILASA does so much of work just attending to those sadhus. Continuously 3 meals a day is provided to them. Free meals are continuously given to them so that they can have they can conduct their spiritual life in the same context that Supreme Pontiff is bringing out with Annadana, having food in plenty.
Yes, in fact, the only other place which I can even think of having such kind of a vibrant, spiritual vibrance and Hinduism being alive and active is Kashi. Right?
Yes.
That number, where sadhus and sannyasis are just living on the streets and just moving around, and literally more than any other kind of people is the sadhus. They are the ones who make up that ecosystem and continuously running population. It's not a static population, dynamic. Same way as during the Girivala, the people are coming from all over the places for this the pilgrimage, the circumambulation around the Arunachala hill. Again, the similar kind of situation, same ambience, same energy being created there in the powerful ecosystem of Tiruvannamali, and especially exactly where the location of the KAILASA in Tiruvannamali, where it is located, just in the middle of the Girivalam path, as you said, right, serving people, all the people who are all the yatris there for the Nitya Annadan Seva, offering them free food, fresh vegetarian sattvic meal, and any other service, any other help, any other spiritual guidance they require. Our people are there, sannyasis are there, all the people, Adinavasis, constantly attending to them, taking care of them. All their needs, basic needs are being met. Such a beautiful scene to even look at, Maharaj. This whole revival that the Supreme Point of Hinduism is doing in the town of Tiruvannamali, this ecosystem of Tiruvannamali, and even like so much of respect and love he has for Tiruvannamali. He even said that whenever he used to visit Tiruvannamali, even before the actual town starts, he would take off his shoes or take off his slippers, and actually because he can't even think of walking with the shoes on the land of Tiruvannamali. That is the love, that is the connection, because the whole place is God himself, it's Paramshiva himself, right? The soil of Tiruvannamali, he can't even think or he can't even imagine putting shoes on that. So that is the kind of reverence, connection, love, because raw love for Paramashiva that the Supreme Point of Hinduism has when it comes to Tiruvannamali. His whole life, he has grown up there. He has been molded by the entire his Guru Parampara in the town of Tiruvannamali. It is just that Guru Parampara, what all his gurus poured into him during his growing age, just that he is sharing with the whole world, the whole entire everything, whatever dimension you celebrate about him, everything has come from that Guru Parampara, right? which he is just reproducing, which he is just sharing, and his integrity to his Guru Parampara can't even, like, it is incomparable. His integrity, his love for his gurus makes him decide and declare to create thousands and thousands of temples all around the world, all across the world, to revive the ecosystem, to continue to sing the glory of his Guru Parampara, especially Arunagiri Yogeshwara and all other gurus, continuously for generations to come. That is the level of integrity and love and reverence which he has for this entire ecosystem, for Paramashiva himself, for the Guru Parampara, and for the Chitra, that is the ecosystem of Tiruvannamali, the Adi Arunachal Sarvagnya Peetham, which he is reviving as an act of just his love. This is just his love statement for his gurus, this whole revival of Kailasa that is happening. So it is so beautiful, Maharaj, to see this whole thing happening.
Yes, Maharaj, we're having a whole evening of events going to happen, especially in the auspicious Tithi of Chitra Pournami. So let us, we can continue, conclude our session and see we encourage everyone to stay tuned for the upcoming exciting programs tonight in the 16th anniversary celebrations of Kailasa Tiruvannamali on this auspicious occasion of Chitra Pournami. So with this, we will conclude with the Puna Mantra.
Yes.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Nithyananda.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda